2024 was the best year of my life yet. I did a lot of things in 2024. I traveled, I hung out with friends, I went to concerts, I partied, I stepped out of my comfort zone, I got a big job, and at the end of the day, I was just my best creative self. This was the year that I turned 20 years old. I stopped being a teenager, even though when I was 19, I always told people I was 20. I could be with my friends in that, I don't know, social group. But also when I was 19, I was just done with being a teenager because 2023 was a really rough year of my life. And I felt like I just needed to get into my 20s. Even though I learned a lot and I had a lot of good times in 2024, it obviously did not come without shortcomings. I've struggled with anxiety and depression for a large majority of my teenage years, and I did not leave behind any of those problems, but I definitely conquered some of the struggles that I had with my mental health. I cried, I was really stressed, I was really upset with where I was at some points of the year. It was really good for my mental health to see all the hard work that I've put into school manifest into getting all A's, or all the work that I've done building my career help landed me an internship. But then I also had times where I felt like I put in a lot of work and it wasn't being appreciated, which is really hard to live with and really makes you feel really shitty. But in 2024, I just learned how to stay calm, move on, stay calm and carry on, and just go with the flow, It also helps to know that this was the first year where I was fully medicated. Maybe that's not something I actually need to say, but I was fully medicated. Medication goes a long way sometimes. Not always the answer. I don't want this to be an advice video because what works for one person will not work for everyone else. If anything, this year has taught me that people are different. I especially don't want this to be an advice video because I have a little beef with self-help people.
Think that self-help authors are full of shit. They're only making a book to make money off of your insecurities. Oops! Cry about it. I don't care.
When I was 15, I would read so many self-help books, and maybe in the end these did actually help my mental health, but to be honest, I think a lot of stuff just goes with experience and learning things on the ground, and having human connection is way more important than reading a bunch of books. I focused on habits, failure, but there's no greater teacher than actually leaving my fucking room and going outside, which to some older people that might sound duh. But to someone who spent her entire high school life during COVID and using social media, there are so many things that I've learned as a Gen Z person that helped me grow more. So with all that being said about how this is not a self-help video, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just a 20-year-old girl. This is just what I've learned. If someone is helped by this video, then that makes me so happy. But also, if this is just for entertainment to learn about how my life has changed in the past year, then continue watching. But without further ado, here are 7 little things I learned in 2024. Number 1, I took accountability for myself and I said sorry to a lot of people. A really big part of maturing for me has been letting go of my ego. As I said, when I was 15, I used to read so many self-help books, and it wasn't that I really wanted to help myself. It's because I just wanted to feel more morally bigger than everyone else, and I wanted to feel like I was smarter, and I just felt like I had to prove myself. But when you're seriously just learning things to just prove yourself or to make yourself bigger in the eyes of other people, then you never actually grow your own person. And it's really hard to see that, and it took me a really long time to realize that I have a huge ego. But taking accountability and saying sorry when you fuck up is so amazing. Not being scared of being wrong will take you so far, and it will really just help you learn. I had some troubling problems with some friendships over the year, and it was really beneficial to just say sorry when I said something rude, and I said something rude a lot. There were events where something bad happened and it was my fault. People really respect you when you take ownership of that and say sorry. Although it could be really hard to think that you're a really bad person from a choice or an event or something like that, it's not something to be burdened by because everyone makes mistakes and it just makes you human. The second thing that I've learned is to unapologetically did what I felt in the moment. Now, everyone has always heard the phrase just be yourself. But then the following question is, who the fuck am I? And I don't know who the fuck I am. I'm still trying to figure that out. But one thing that really helps me figure that out is to do what I want in the moment. If I want to scream, then I'm gonna scream. I screamed a lot this year, and that was weird. I didn't scream inside of like a crowded theater or anything, but like, you know, read the room and also do whatever the fuck you want to do. I had some embarrassing moments. I had to take accountability for what I did because I would say something that was wrong and I had to say sorry for it. And I genuinely was sorry for it. But unapologetically being myself and saying sorry for the moments where I shouldn't have done something, it helped me learn a lot about failure, a lot about embarrassment, but it also helped me learn who I was as a person. And eventually I just got more comfortable in my own judgment. It's also very important to read the room because you never want to be like that really loud person that's annoying people because people don't like that. Recognizing that you aren't the main character in everyone's life, but also do what you feel. Say what you want. Be unapologetically yourself. And I know, who the fuck am I? I don't know. Act out. Be so many different versions of you until you find what feels right. And take accountability because we're all learning. Anyway, along with that, number 3 is forget cringe. I had a lot of moments this year with friends where I realized that they cared a lot about what I did because they thought I was embarrassing, because they thought I was weird. But once you forget cringe, it really helps you take on a new meaning of life. Being chronically online, you will see, as Ethel Cain has said, and as many people have said, that there is an irony epidemic. A lot of young people just love saying like, it isn't that deep, or making jokes out of things, or if they see someone enjoying themselves on the internet, immediately find a problem with it. And yeah, things are cringe. I say it when something is cringe, that's fine. But also, does it really hurt you? Forgetting cringe just helps us like really understand who we are as a person, as a society. I'm saying this now and I'm literally getting the ick from myself because I'm like, oh my god, girl thinks she's so deep. But like, it's true. Forget cringe. I genuinely had a great year because I was like, fuck it. Like, that person's cringy, but they look like they're living their best life. Like, go for it. Is it really hurting me? Is it really damaging me? I have to let go of my ego. And then I can enjoy when someone else does something and I won't see it as cringe. Cringe is connected to ego. And as I said before, take accountability. All these things are interconnected. That's science. Number 4, recognize that not everyone is in the same place. They did not grow up the same way as me. Just recognize that everyone is different. This year, I thought a lot of people were seriously dumb. And to be honest, I think a lot of people still are seriously dumb. But I cannot blame them. They did not grow up the same way as me. They did not have the same life lessons as me. They simply do not know the same things that I know. And also, there are a lot of people who know more than I know. We're all at different levels, and it can be really frustrating trying to coexist with someone who doesn't see a problem in their actions, can't take accountability, but also you can help them get to that point. I've seen friends like really grow as people because they really challenged themselves and they tried to meet where I was at mentally. They were trying to understand who I was, and even though they didn't understand the same things as me, they genuinely tried to understand me, and that went a really long way versus people who are closed-minded and just continue doing whatever the fuck they want. A little bit of a tangent there, but hopefully you know where I'm coming from. And if you don't, then that's the point. Okay. For number 5, I had the amazing privilege of falling deeper in love with my partner. Now, for those of you who are single, I know this hurts to hear. I was single once too, but trust me, like, there's more to learn from this. For my relationship, I learned that love does not always feel the same. Now, obviously, you're not gonna feel the same way about someone every single day of your life. But last year with my boyfriend, I thought that that's how it had to be. I thought I always had to be constantly in love because of how movies and TV shows and books and everything talks about love. I tried to break up with my boyfriend like 3 times last year, and that might sound scary, it might sound unhealthy and dangerous, but I genuinely thought that I had fallen out of love with him, when in reality, my feelings were just fluctuating on a day. And I learned that a lot this year. I learned that I could be upset, I could be mad, and it is totally okay to have those feelings. And it also really helps to have someone else in your life that understands that feelings fluctuate and it's never about them. It's just how we are as humans. And this doesn't even pertain to romantic relationships. This is with like every relationship in your life. Like I felt really mad against some friends this year, but I listened to myself, I understood my feelings, and I really thought them through. And I was able to maintain really strong friendships because I didn't blow it off because of one little petty thing that my friend did that pissed me off. Carrying on to that point, number 6, it's not that deep. Now, I know that that is a little hypocritical since I was just complaining about people on the internet saying like, oh, it's not that fucking deep, bro, like there's an irony epidemic. But some things are just not that deep. If a friend angers you, it's not that fucking deep. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't make meaning out of something that isn't there. Let go of your ego. Again, it all goes together. Life is fluid. Not really. It's not fluid at all. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's not that fucking deep sometimes. And sometimes things are deep. I remember sometime this year, I posted this philosophy little excerpt that I found that was really good. It's actually about being off of your phone, and it was really good writing, and I posted it because it really meant something to me. And then one of my chronically online friends swiped up and said, "This is so cheesy." And I was fucking hurt because I was like, okay, you're in an irony epidemic. You're surrounded by all the shit on your phone that makes you think that nothing means anything. But there are things in life that have meaning, such as philosophy, such as art, such as, I don't know, you can find meaning in anything as long as it makes you happy and gives you like a fulfilling purpose. And even some things don't have to give you a fulfilling purpose. It's a spectrum. There are some things that you should not think is the end of the world, like failing a test or losing a job. Even though actually that's really stressful, but you know what I mean. Like the world doesn't end. Every single day you're gonna have obstacles and you get stronger by overcoming them. But then there's also things that really do matter, like human relationships and art and just being happy. Don't undermine someone and tell them that they're cheesy or they're cringy, because that's a person with human feelings. That means something to them. Just being nice to others. And finally, I saved the most cliche shit for last. The thing that made my year better was I got off my fucking phone. Get off your fucking phone. Literally. This was the first year where I did not have TikTok on my phone for like more than a day. And it was perfect. Now, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, that is something that we have to work on. But overall, my screen time did decrease this year. This is not sponsored, but an app that really helped me was ScreenZen. That basically, when you open up social media, and you could pick which social medias you want, you just have to click unlock, and then you have to wait for this to unlock. And it's pretty good. It helps delay your instant gratification so that your brain realizes that it doesn't get everything in life. And that quick dopamine fix is delayed a little bit because everything in life takes time. You're not going to get that instant gratification from other things in life, unlike your phone. Being present, having hobbies, getting off your phone, going outside, getting exercise, not bed rotting. I did a lot of bed rotting this year, and there are benefits to being on your phone, to bed rotting, whatever. But at the end of the day, take care of yourself. Self-care is not being on your phone, and just sometimes you just have to go through life as if you did not have a phone. When you're waiting for someone and your first instinct is to do something on your phone, maybe just stare. Literally, I did a lot of just staring this year, and it was pretty great.
I meant like staring at the wall, not staring at somebody.
Like, I can handle boredom and I can do more hobbies and I have more patience. Still working on patience, but you know, it's better than it has been when I was a teenager and I would just lay in my bed and I would just scroll and scroll and scroll, and then my brain would be fried and then I could not communicate with people because everything was everywhere. My hormones and my brain. It was scattered in a little puddle. But yeah, that's what made 2024 a really great year. I'm nervous for 2025 because I have some really big changes coming up. I'm nervous because I don't know if I'm going to have a job, which is really nerve-wracking, but there are also things I'm really excited for. I have this YouTube channel. I maybe will meet new people. I'll continue just living life and just realizing that everything is gonna be okay. So hopefully you got something out of this. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to support me and subscribe and like and comment and do all that cheesy little stuff, and get off your phone now and go do something. I love you forever. Bye.